I'm Leonard Riggs, and this is my podcast from my head to your ears, and today I'm talking about my cats, because they are something else right now. And they kind of are my life besides work. Kind of at a transition place, but they're pretty good company for the most part, but they are rotten. And I was wanting a t-shirt that says, "Ask me about my cats," because I talk about them a lot. So I figured I'd just do a podcast about them. Why not, right? All right. I'll be right back. I'm Leonard Riggs, and this is my podcast from my head to your ears. I'm Leonard Riggs, and this is my podcast from my head to your ears. And today I'm talking about my kitty cats. I have 7, actually, girlfriend being the oldest. She's kind of a gadabout. She wanders around the neighborhood, and she comes home to eat every now and then. She's kind of grouchy. She was my first kitty in my adult life. She was a stray that kind of adopted me. Yeah, I said it right. She adopted me. It was after my dad died and my mom started going through Alzheimer's, and this little black and white cat had been wandering the neighborhood. She was left behind by her previous owners as a kitten, and she survived, and my sister had seen her because it was the house next door to her that had left her, and she had talked about her quite often, and I didn't really pay much attention to it. But then the little kitty kind of warmed up to me, and I started petting her, and she's so pretty. She's black and white, and she's a sweetheart. But she kind of got attached to me, and she brought me a dead squirrel as a I love you the most gift. And God love her, I really was thrilled to accept that gift. Anyway, I took the squirrel away from her and buried it in the backyard. But she stuck around, and I used to work midnight shifts, and I'd come home, and she'd be waiting for me. I'd pet her. Well, eventually, when it got cold, she made her way in the house. And at first, I wouldn't let her stay because I wasn't allowed. This is my parents' house, actually. And I wasn't allowed to have pets in here as a kid. My dad didn't permit it. I would have an occasional animal visitor, but he wasn't real thrilled with him being in the house. But she came in the house, got on the couch, and went to sleep. And the first time, I had to wake her up and send her on her way. And then she did it again. I just didn't have the heart. Well, she got pregnant several times and had them at the neighbor's house. And I think her third litter, she ran in the house, and I didn't even know. She went in the front bedroom, which is kind of a junk bedroom, and gave birth to 4 beautiful little kittens. And we didn't know it even for a little while. Then I think we heard kittens. So we went in there, and she had given birth in the closet, kind of in a private corner. And my niece was home, and she picked them up. And that is the litter Sunny and Livy came from. I gave 2 away, which broke my heart, and I kept Livy first. I had intended on giving them all away, but Livy was kind of the scrawny, the runt of the litter, and just lovable, and I was like, I can't give this one away. She needs me, so I named her Livy after Olivia Newton-John. And then Sunny, I was going to give away, and he was this beautiful little cat. And my niece said, I think I want him. And I said, well, I'll hold on to him until you come home. This was in March, April. She was supposed to come home in May. And during that time, I got really attached to him. And then Melissa said my niece said she really didn't need him. And I thought, well, good, because I'm keeping him. And I named him Sunny as after the character in Xanadu. Of course, I named a cat after Olivia Newton-John, I had to name it after one of her male partners. I couldn't name him John because I have a nephew named John after John Travolta. I couldn't name him Danny after the character in Grease, Danny Zuko, and Danny was the name of the male character in Two of a Kind that she did with John Travolta, the other movie. So there was left Sonny from Xanadu. The Sonny Malone was his name, and I named him Sonny because, by gosh, he is a Sonny. So we lived happily ever after, and girlfriend was very attached to Sonny and Livy and nursed them until they were as big as her, if not bigger. It was kind of strange. She even had another litter in my house on my mom's legs, actually, which was kind of odd. But unfortunately, they all died. They didn't make it. And she really kind of disowned them and quit feeding them. I guess they were sickly. But she continued to nurse Sonny and Livy, which was really strange, even when her kittens were there. So anyway, yeah, I've got weird cats. But the funny thing about girlfriend, how her name came to be, I originally called her Psycho because she'd sit there and stare at me all the time. And I was like, God, she's psychotic. And there was this meme or this video early on in internet history of a girl singing. She had really big eyes, and she would sing this song. I think it was a contest for Justin Bieber, had a meeting or something, and she had done this video about you're my boyfriend and I'm your girlfriend or something. I don't know. And she had these crazy eyes, and it kind of became a meme as well. And the way girlfriend stared at me, it reminded me of her. And I thought, I'm just going to name her Girlfriend. So that's how that name came about. My neighbor, every neighbor in this neighborhood has a different name for her because she's kind of the neighborhood cat, but this is I guess is her home base. And I don't know, she kind of goes to my neighbors still too. She kind of hides out over there, and then she comes in. Anyway, I love her so much. She's so beautiful. So anyway, all was fine and dandy, and one day I hear a little cat outside meowing and crying, and I guess she was left here, and she sort of moved into my bushes outside my window here, and I immediately got warmed up to her, but I thought I can't have any more cats, so she stayed outside for the longest time, and I fed her, and she got to where she would show up for her feedings. Then she became old enough to be in heat, and of course she got pregnant, and ended up giving birth to, I'm trying to think, 6 kittens, and I watched them being born, and I petted her. It was one of the sweetest moments of my life. She was letting me pet her while she was giving birth, and she just looked up at me, and by the way, her name is Nacho Kitty. And she gave birth to these kittens, and she was very protective of them. And she moved them several places, and I eventually found them and moved them to my back porch where they could be safe. And she took care of them, and I bought them a little playpen, this collapsible playpen, and put them all in. And she fed them until they were old enough till they were weaned. And then she kind of deserted them a little bit. And she got a bad infection where they were chewing on her teats. And anyway, my neighbor Marcy helped nurse her back together. But these little kittens were stinky little guys. They pooed everywhere on my porch, and they were really out of control. I had a sitter at the time for my mom, and she's like, you can't keep those cats. So I gave 2 of those away. Actually, one of them had died. The little yellow kitten had died, which broke my heart because that was the one I had 2 of them that I was immediately attached to. That was one of them, and then there was a little one with flame on her forehead, a flame design, an orange flame. Her mom has an orange Cheeto on her head, but this other little kitten has the orange mark, but it looks more like a flame. It's almost a perfect form, and she's just the cutest little vocal kitten I've ever seen, and I really wanted to keep her. But I was giving them away. I gave the 2 away, and once again, I couldn't do it anymore. I hate giving kittens away because I fall in love with all of them. And eventually, the 3 left would keep getting at my house and just loving all over me. And then they got names, and once you name them, they're yours for life. So I named the one with the little flame on her head. At first, I named her Miss Kitty, and then eventually I wanted to name her after another Olivia Newton-John character. So I couldn't name her Sandy because I know someone named Sandy. Kira, Actually, Kira was the other one I named Kira, and then the one with the little flame on her head, I named her Bitsy May after Bitsy May Harlan from the movie Sordid Lives that Olivia did with Del Shores, who's a producer, director that I know. Actually, have talked to him online. Anyway, long story, another story there. But I named her Bitsy May, and Kira was the other one after Xanadu. And the male, I had a male cat, and I thought, I want to name him Isaac. I actually was going to name Lewis after a friend of mine who's a blues man and a weather forecaster on Channel 6, WPSD, used to be, I should say. And I was going to name him Lewis, but then I thought I kind of like the name Isaac after Chris Isaac. So sorry, Lou. I think maybe if I have another male cat, I'm going to name him Lewis after you. But Chris Isaac won on that one. I'm so sorry. That's terrible. But yeah, Lou, by the way, has a group called Lou Jeton in 61 South. He's done a few CDs that you can get online. You can get on Apple Music or Spotify and check him out. He's a great bluesman. Has a lot of fun songs. He's a really great live act too. I've gone to see him live a few times. I digress, as I usually do. But that's how I named my cats. And funny thing, Sunny and Livy have never known any other place than actually all my cats, except for the mama and the two mamas, have only known this house as their home. But Sunny and Livy were born actually in this house, and they kind of claim it as their own. I'm sitting here right now in a totally messed up living room because I started, well, of course my mom passed away, and for the first time my cats are alone by themselves in the house for hours while I work. And at first it was okay, but now they're all starting to fight. My 3 cats that are related, my 4 cats that are related get along peacefully, but they gang up on my 2 that aren't, Sunny and Livy. I don't know when this started. It was this week. It's the strangest damn thing. But it's been kind of an aggression. They have torn my house to shreds, knocked stuff over. I'm sitting here doing a podcast instead of housework. I actually just slept 12 hours, but anyway, I guess I needed the sleep. But I'm trying to figure out a way for them to get along better. But right now, it's kind of a task. I've got them, as long as I'm home, I can kind of stop them from fighting or whatever. But they fight over me mostly and my attention, which is kind of funny. But anyway, I'm going to take a break and rest my throat for just a minute, and I'm going to talk some more about my kitty cats. My kitty cats in a moment. I'm Leonard Riggs, and this is my podcast from my head. What is my podcast name again? Oh yeah, from my head to your ears. I'll be right back. I'm Leonard Riggs, and this is my podcast from my head to your ears, and I'm talking about my cats, which is one of my favorite subjects to talk about besides movies and stuff. But cats are funny. I've had dogs, and I've had cats. I've even had a duck. I've had fish. I've had a turtle as a pet. We've had birds. But cats are the most self-sufficient, I guess, of the animals. They kind of just live in their own little world, and they like to sleep a lot, and they find the weirdest places to sleep. My cats have slept on top shelves, and they've slept underneath stuff, and in closets, and just wherever they find to claim their own. Of course, their favorite place to sleep is on my lap or up on my chest. They love to They love to cuddle, and dogs do too. Dogs like to be petted too. Dogs are more faithful companions. Cats are more intense companions. They claim you as their own. They're very territorial. But oftentimes they too will go to other people, which is strange. I have a cousin that hates cats, so he says. But my cats always gravitate towards him, and he always ends up petting him. It's very peaceful to pet a cat. My Bubby, my Sonny, I nicknamed Sonny as Bubby. He is the absolute most cuddly cat I've ever had in my life. He feels like a stuffed animal. He's huge. He's 25 pounds. But he is so soft and so cuddly. And when I come home from work and he gets on me, and he genuinely loves me, and you can feel it, and goes to sleep cuddled up next against me. Bitsy May is my other most cuddly kitty, even though she's going through a horrible time right now. I swear she's been possessed by Satan. I'm not quite sure what's going on with her. She's been attacking Sunny and Livy, something fierce. But she's also very cuddly. She likes to be held like a baby, and oftentimes takes her paw and rubs her face with it. Now, Livy is all pricks and needles. She doesn't like to be held so much unless she wants to be held. But oftentimes she'll cuddle with me. And something I noticed too when I've been sick, especially Sunny and Livy try to take care of me. Livy especially, she'll get up she'll comfort me. When my mom passed, I don't know that I talked about it on the podcast, but my mom had, obviously was in her last days, and I had taken a leave of absence, and I was camped out by her bed. I slept in the chair by her bed, and I would only leave to go to the bathroom or take a shower, and or go outside for a minute to get some air. But I didn't want to leave her. But the day she died, she was doing nothing but sleeping. I mean, I couldn't get her to get up to eat or anything. I think I got her up that day to take a sip of water, but she choked on it. I had checked on her and told her I'm going to go in my room and make a phone call and charge my phone. And I rubbed her on the face, and she looked up at me, and I knew she was still with me. And I walked in my room and ended up being there too long, and I came out, but when I came out, she had passed, and my cat Sunny had run up to me as if to tell me something was wrong. And I came up and she was gone. Well, Livy had always slept with my mom, and she always cuddled against her. And they say cats don't feel things or whatever, but Livy, of all my cats, grieved the hardest about my mom. And when they took my mom out, my cats had climbed up in the bed and slept in her bed. All of them did. So definitely they do feel attachment. My mom had been here the whole time, and especially Livy. Livy was my mom's buddy and girlfriend. Actually loved my mom too. She'd always come in and sleep on my mom. Girlfriend had come in the house whenever they were working on Mama. They asked me to step outside, and I did. And anyway, cats are very loving animals. They can be rotten, but they really do. They do love their person, and I will swear to that. I think they're just good pets. They're good companions. They're helping me through my grieving process. They're certainly keeping me busy. I've got a clean house when I get off here. I have a messed up kitchen too, where they've been fighting. They have knocked everything down in this house when they're fighting, because they take off. And I wish I had visual on this podcast, because I've noticed one of my cats has climbed on top of my entertainment center and is on the very top staring at me right now. And I remember the first time I got mad at Sunny and Livy when they were little kittens, and I don't remember what made me mad, but they got scolded, and my mom, who was still walking around at the time, let them out, and they ran off, and I could not find them. I spent the whole afternoon looking for them, I was panicked. It was a Saturday afternoon after work, and I was tired, and I was like, oh my God, I've done it. And eventually my neighbor called to me, and Livy was in her house. She had gotten inside her fence, so I ran over and I caught her and brought her in, and she scratched my arm really bad. She was mad at me. But I brought her back in. I could not find Sonny anywhere. And I ended up stopped looking for him, and I went to bed. I was so upset, and I woke up and still no Sonny. And went to feed girlfriend and Livy, and turned around, and there he was. I thought, how did you get in the house? I figured out later what had happened. He was not outside at all. He'd actually climbed up on top of the cabinet and hid for a day. And I found out later because they had done it again, and that's where I found him. And I never thought to look on top of the cabinet because it's really high up, and our cabinets don't quite go to the ceiling, so there's like a little gap between the ceiling and the cabinet, and that's where he was. So they love to hide, and I think the worst part when I had to get my animals fixed, Sonny was male cats generally is outpatient, so to speak. They keep them for a little while, and you go pick them up. Girlfriend, I took her to a different place called St. Francis Animal Shelter in Murfreesboro, Illinois, I believe is where it is. And they don't keep the female cats after they spay them. But girlfriend was so upset when I took her, she thought I was getting rid of her, that she had an accident in her cage. But when I went to pick her up, she was so happy. And that kind of broke my heart. But Livy, I took to the local animal clinic, and they kept her for 24 hours. And I couldn't go pick her up because of I had to work. So my friend Amber picked her up, and she was crying so hard that Livy was crying so hard that Amber had to stop, and I had to run out and pet her. And she calmed down, and Amber brought her home, and she was happy as a lark. Now, my Isaac, I actually won a free neuter through a local animal shelter place, or not animal shelter, I don't know what you'd call it. They're a voluntary animal activist group, I guess you call them, where they help strays. And anyway, I won a free neuter for Isaac, and I took him to the doctor, and he was such a good kitty. He enjoyed the ride. He didn't cry about his pain or anything. So spaying and neutering is very important if you're going to have animals. Just do it, because it helps them a lot. And I certainly don't need to go through having to get kittens away again. I don't think my heart can take it, and I certainly don't need 17 more cats. So, that's just the truth. Well, I'm going to take a break and rest my voice, and I'll be right back. I'm Leonard Riggs, and this is From My Head to Your Ears, I Shall Return. I'm Leonard Riggs, and this is my podcast, From My Head to Your Ears, and today I'm talking about, my kitty cats. My little cat family. I've taken a lot of criticism for having so many cats, and honestly, I never expected to even have one cat, but here I am with 7 now. I took a little break, and my girlfriend came in, so she's over here eating a can of food. She's starved to death, so she always comes home, and I'm always glad that she's here. I wish she'd just stay, but she won't. She'll be wanting out pretty soon. Honestly, like I said, after my mom passed away, it's been a godsend to have these animals, because honestly, I haven't had time to bury myself in grief. I'm always an advocate of feeling out your emotions, but I've got so much going on right now. It's good to have a pleasant diversion with these animals, and to have someone to rely on me. being the four-legged kind this time. I felt really fulfilled taking care of my mom, and the loss of my caregiving years is almost as hard to let go of as letting go of my mom. I honestly felt like she was my child. So having my cats around and having them to be responsible for fills my heart and my mind, and I really like it. I think everybody should have a pet. Nobody should be alone in this world. If you don't want to have a relationship or whatever, have a pet. And I know I talk about stuff too much. I tend to be obsessive when I like something, and I also am very devoted to what I like. And I love having these cats. They're my family. I'd take a bullet for these cats. Anybody would harm my cats, they would find that I can be quite aggressive. I would really hurt somebody if they hurt my animals. I'm very protective of these guys. They're my family. They're my little cat family, and I love them with my heart and soul. So there's that. I guess the negative sides to having cats is the poop and the pee and all that stuff, but human beings poop and pee too, so you just have to keep up with them. I'm having a hard time right now because I'm actually going through a little bit of a health issue, but I'll be all right. It's nothing I can't get through on some medicine. And I've been very tired lately, so my housekeeping skills are not the best, to say the least. But plus, if you notice, I've not podcasted lately. I'm not going to lie, I've been really kind of down. A lot's going on in my family and a lot going on with friends. Nothing's really great right now. It's just a phase. It's just life transitioning. It's a transition time. Got a lot going on in the world that's not good. We have the elections coming up. God help us all with that, because I'm afraid it's dividing our country, something fierce. And I don't want to talk about politics on my podcast. I want nothing to do with it, actually. But having cats is just keeping me kind of grounded and calm. And I really love being an animal owner. I think they own me, to be honest with you. I'm petting one of my cats now. I've got my glasses off. I can't even tell. I think it's Bitsy May. And girlfriend's over here. And Sonny's in front of the television. And Livy's on top of the entertainment center. And Isaac is perched on a box. And I think Kira's looking out the window. And who's left? I think that's all of them, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, I got one missing. Who's missing? Kira, girlfriend, Isaac, Bitsy May, Sonny, Nacho. I don't know where Nacho is. Nacho keeps to herself. She's kind of a funny animal. When she got in the house, I was talking about her earlier. When she ran in the house and never left, she ran in my front bedroom where Sonny and Livy were born, and she would not come out. I had to feed her in there. Eventually, she worked herself into the kitchen where she stays. That's where she stays now. She hides under the table, and I have to feed her in there. She doesn't really want nothing to do with the rest of the cats, not even her kittens, but every now and then she comes out, and she has a tie to her kittens, but she doesn't always. She sometimes hisses at them. She loves Sonny. Her and Sonny have a love affair, but they fight. She just picks on Sonny all the time, but she also tries to love on him. And I've woke up a few times and they've cuddled together. And Sonny can't hurt her in any way since he's fixed. But yeah, it's a good source of entertainment. And I think I'm going to take a break and I'm going to wrap this up, even though I probably could talk all day about these animals. I'm sure you don't want to hear that, but I'm Litter Riggs. This is my podcast, from my head to your ears. I'm Ender Riggs, and this is my podcast from my head to your ears, and I'm going to wrap this up. I was talking about my cats. I'm going to tell you, if you feel alone, get you a pet. They are great companions, and they fulfill my life right now. They'll keep you company, and they'll keep you from feeling so alone. I don't care what you adopt, whether it be a dog or a goldfish or a possum, I don't know, a skunk. Get you something to keep you company. Or, get you a girlfriend or boyfriend. I don't know. But don't be alone in this world. There's no need, and there's plenty of animals that need loving in this world. And go to your local adoption agency and pick you out a pet. Pick you out 2 pets. Hell, 7 pets. Whatever you need. Apparently it takes this many cats to keep me company. So anyway, always thank you for listening. I love doing podcasts. Sorry it's been so long. I've been a little down lately. I'm still down, but I'm working my way up. It's been a rough year and continues to be a rough year. But I promise I won't take so long between the next podcasts. I've just been having an inspirational blockage period. And actually this podcast came to me. I actually started several and just didn't feel it. And I was looking at my cat, Sonny, and I thought, talk about your cats, boy. So that's what I did. So anyway, until next time, I'm Leonard Riggs. This is my podcast from my head to your ears.